I recently made the decision to get rid of my oscillating belt and spindle sander. What's up woodworkers, Ben here, and I know there are a lot of these oscillating belt and spindle sander machines out there, and they all look like they come from the same factory, just in different colours and with different brand logos on them. Mine didn't even have a brand name on it, and I got it second hand, so I can't be sure exactly where it originally came from, but I think it was from Rutland's in the early days, and I've reason to believe it was fairly old. But it still looks exactly the same as the new ones that are out there now. Now, I'd be lying if I said I never used the machine, but there were a few reasons why I ultimately decided to get rid of it, and it's a similar reason that I used when I got rid of my bandsaw. Essentially, if I could do a similar job on another machine, then I'm trying to minimise the space I use with my benchtop tools and getting rid of any tools that just don't get used that often. With this one, I mainly used it to round off corners that I've rough cut or the very occasional curved inside edge of something, but I can probably count on one hand how many times I did that. Now, I, like many people, went through a stage of wanting whatever tool I saw people using when watching my favourite YouTubers, and most of them had one of these tools, but they don't seem to get used a lot, and usually these guys have massive workshops with tons of expensive tools in it, so they can afford to have one lying around for occasional use. I, on the other hand, can't really afford the space for such an underused tool, so I made the decision to get rid of it. Ultimately, my decision was made up when I got this belt sander here. It's only a cheap basic one, but I've already used it more than my spindle sander, and this one comes with a feature where you can clamp it to your workbench to bring the workpiece to the tool rather than taking the tool to the workpiece. This meant that I had a solution for rounding off those corners on the edges, the pieces that I tended to do on the spindle sander, and in all honesty, the types of projects I make meant that I had very little need for something that stands inside curves. I think if I were to ever get a machine to replace this one, I'd get a lot more use from a large disc sander, as it's generally more aggressive and you get to use the whole of the sandpaper rather than just the bottom strip. However, for now, I can definitely cope without one. All right, that's just a quick one from me today, and I'll see you on the next one.